SuperTalk.fm. We're still streaming from that SuperTalk Mississippi app if you've downloaded that, and of course your local SuperTalk Mississippi radio station. But don't forget to watch us. We are on your computer, your mobile device. Just head on over to SuperTalk TV. It's Friday. We got Tanya back in the house to talk movies, and that was Beetlejuice. So is Beetlejuice still alive and well?
Yeah, it's still going strong. It dropped to number 3 last week, but still, I think still nearly 10 million.
For something that I figured would be a really, not a small crowd. I know you have generations who are introducing it to new generations, but still it's not like a Deadpool where you would want to go back multiple times, I don't think.
Yeah, I think one and done is about as good as you could hope for. But they're actually rolling out a new way to see it this weekend. They're doing a double feature with Beetlejuice and the new Joker movie.
Oh, okay.
So if you've missed either one or want to see one of them maybe a second time, that's your chance. You know, check your local theater because they may be doing a double feature.
Which you were pro Beetlejuice, but maybe think about it for the Joker?
Yeah, I mean, I think if I were going to the theater to see and was able to pick up the Joker free, I would definitely go for it. But the Joker's not a bad movie, although it's gotten just terrible. I mean, I keep hearing about people walking out and, you know, I didn't think it was bad, but I like musicals.
Right.
It wasn't the greatest movie either, but again, it is not. I think so many people go in thinking, you know, I'm about to watch a Batman movie, and it's not that. It's just, it's like it just happens to have that character in it, but it's a psychological thriller, in my opinion.
So what else is out there if you've already seen those two or don't want to?
Yeah, well, this weekend we have, you know, 'tis the season, Smile 2, which is the latest in the horror genre. So you're familiar with Smile.
I just know it's just they can't get it out of their head. Like you just see smiling people everywhere.
I know that visual freaks me out. I mean, it's terrible. And you're seeing so many movies with these sinister smiles. You know, the one I just saw a few weeks ago, It'll Come to Me, Speak No Evil. That guy had that sinister grin, but Smile is even worse. It's like these people get, and I haven't seen it because I'm terrified, but
you get a hall pass.
These people get like overtaken by some sort of something, and a pattern happens, and they have this terrible smile on their face, like right before they die. Or I think like maybe you're not, if you see that smile, then you're next.
It's terrible.
And anyway, but this is one of those rare, I did go in and read some reviews, and everybody, the fans, the critics as a whole, they're all saying this is one of those sequels that is actually better than the first movie, and you don't see that very often.
I won't see it this time either.
Yeah. So they're saying, you know, this is going to be the new big franchise. So Smile 2 kicks
kind of like
off.
a Scream?
Yeah, sort of, and it is very bloody, gory, you know, if that's your kind of thing, you know. But you know, jump scare kind of thing.
Yeah, I think, but it's out there. Maybe a fun first date movie. See if she'll stick with you or not.
Well, you know, when the first one came out, I don't know if you remember, but I was like sitting at home, innocently watching like a baseball game, and you would see somebody in the crowd with that smile. And it was some way to promote the movie, and I was like, no, and they would zoom in on them, you know. I'm sure it was a paid situation,
right?
But I just can't take it. It just freaks me out.
Absolutely, I'm with you. So anything for the less faint of heart.
Yeah. So there's another one, and that is rated R. Another rated R movie stars Michael Keaton, which he's also in Beetlejuice, so he's having a pretty good month here. And how can you not like him? He just seems like such a nice guy. But it's called Good Rich. And for the longest time, when I first heard about this movie being made, I thought it was about the tire company. I thought he was like the founder. And anyway, but it's not. It's just about a dad who's on his second marriage. And he's got two twin girls. And his younger wife, checks herself into rehab. She has like a opioid addiction or some sort of pill addiction, and so she's going to go away for 90 days, and he's at home with these kids, and his daughter from his first marriage has to kind of come and help him. And in the process, they kind of repair some damage from, his relationship with her, because he wasn't a very present father. And so now this is his chance to kind of get things and his ducks in a row for this newer family, and then his older daughter.
If the wife comes back all healed and great, then she really just went off for 90 days.
She's really at a spa somewhere. But I have not seen this one either. There were no early screenings of this one, but rumor has it you need a tissue, and that Michael Keaton might get a little Oscar attention for this one.
Oh, really?
And then Mila Kunis stars as his daughter, and she is getting a lot of attention, and I would love to see her hit the awards carpet this season. I think that'd be great, because she's one of those actresses, there's always those that just for whatever reason they're great. You can count on them to be in good movies, but they just never get nominated for anything, even though they're great actors. They've just never had that role that cast them into that shadow or spotlight. So anyway, and then something to total counter program Smile 2, they're re-releasing Back to the Future Part 2 in theaters this weekend. So if you haven't seen it, or if you're like me, I haven't seen this one in a long time, but I watched the first one a lot. Like if I'm flipping channels and it's on, I'm going to watch it. I may only watch one or two scenes, but I'm going to watch because it's such a great movie. So this is an opportunity to see the sequel, which, unlike Smile 2, this one was not regarded as being as good as the original Back to the Future, but it's still good.
Yeah, it's something
definitely worth your time.
Aaron and Meridian ask Tanya, what about Andrew Garfield's movie, We Live in Time? His wife wants to see it. Have you heard about We Live in Time? I don't know when it comes out.
Yeah, I think that one maybe is coming out. I don't think it's this weekend unless it's limited release. But I have not heard much about it, other than he is also in a new TV series, and he seems to, he's been doing the talk show circuit lately, and he's talking about the TV show, but not that movie. So I don't know if he'll come back around for it when it gets a little bit closer, or
Or what? There you go. Well, we'll have to see. Wait and see.
Yeah.
It's probably not necessarily this weekend. Speaking of sequels that probably shouldn't be made, I saw where there may be a Goonies 2 coming.
Oh.
Which is like, I'm not sure about that. Goonies to me is like Beetlejuice was, like I've watched it a million times. It's very cult classic, love it. I could see where there would be a Beetlejuice. I just can't really fathom why there should be a Goonies 2. I don't want them to ruin all that is the beauty of the Goonies.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see what characters, how did they do it?
Because they have to be grown now.
Yeah, they're all grown up now.
And I imagine it would be a lot like the Sandlot 2, where it's very few, if any, of the original cast comes back to make a cameo, and it's just basically a retelling of the first movie with a new cast.
And that stinks, because that movie doesn't work in today's technology. All those kids would have to do is have a smartphone and be able to call, and you know what I mean.
The cell phone ruins the plot of many movies,
right? And so, but you believe you could put yourself, because what was shot in the 80s maybe, sort of in that way, and it was one of those movies I sat down, my kid made her, I was like, you were old enough, we're going to, sort of have to watch through it. And she was like, Ma, this is awful. I'm like, no, it's not. It's great cinema. But I just don't want them to screw up the legacy of it.
The one that I think did great with that was A Christmas Story. They had adult Ralphie, and I thought they did a really good job.
I don't know.
To
if
me,
I've
that
seen
movie is
Christmas...
kind of in that same vein, kind of nostalgic.
Did they have a second Christmas Story?
They had one back in the day, when the first one came out, not long after, maybe several years after, they had another one. But then it was straight to streaming, on Max or something. I feel like it was around the pandemic era. And yeah, it's like the actual I forgot what it was called, but it was the same
Christmas
people.
Story Christmas.
Yes, A Christmas Story Christmas.
So many no to Goonies 2s. They need to leave the Goonies alone all coming through. I think we all know that it's going to be a train wreck. Like there's not a pathway to like living up to the magic that was the actual Goonies.
Notice I didn't say Sandlot 2 was a great movie.
Right. And so, correct. So we'll just have to wait and sort of see on that. But Tanya, thank you for your time. You guys stick with us. We got more for you coming up next.